yeah, here's your tubing. You got it leaning up in the corner there, 1-inch tubing. It's thin wall, but I believe it'll work. Because I'm gonna have washers on it and everything, so it shouldn't collapse or anything when I go to crack down on it. Because you got to raise the motor up 1 inch. Because what'll happen, I've seen other people install these. They'll usually take a grinder and cut these off on both sides from there. Some of them will try to grind that whole thing off and everything. But like I say, this is just a jack shaft and it's shorter. Torque converter is going to come back to about here, and it'll also try to bang on that. So like if you took your motor off, put the torque converter on and went to set it back down on this, it would be holding the motor up in the air on this side because it'd be sticking too far down that way. So you have to lift the whole engine up. So right here's your engine bolts. Basically have to cut a piece of that tubing and raise it up 1 inch. And that'll alleviate it from banging up against the frame. The rear end of the assembly, I guess you'd say. But I don't know how soon I'll do the torque converter, but we will be doing it, and we will do a video on it. Hopefully it's not 3 or 4 parts. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I'm going to try to have everything lined up and in order and everything. That way I can just go to it and have you watching me actually just do it. And I'll try to explain it to the best of my abilities as I do it. It's pretty simple. There's tons of videos of that online, but I definitely want to do my own. So, because some people may follow me and not follow other people that's shown it and stuff like that. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much how I did it. And it's been working. And also, you'll want to refer to this guy. His channel is called Rather Be Welding. He builds. He's darn good. He builds his own like buggies, not just go-karts, buggies. And he's got one that's got a dual engine, 212s on it, and independent suspension on the back and everything. And on most of his engines, he bypasses the governor. And he's not had a bit of problem out of it from what he said. And thing is, like this will do right at 38 miles per hour. It's like 37.68, I think, is as fast as it's went so far. I'm hoping that torque converter might bump that up a little bit. Some people say I may get an increase, and some may say it may not. But anyways, yeah, he says he's done it on several engines. He's romped on them and everything. He says the key is don't get it up to the top end and leave it there for a long time. You have your fun, get up there to your top end speed, but then back off. Don't stay there, because you can go up there a little bit and then back off. Because what happens is this part right here, you take that pull thingy off, it's your flywheel behind there. That flywheel, if you go up to higher RPMs, it's not made to go that fast. That's why these things, that's one of the reasons why they put a governor on these. These are not intended to go that fast. At that high RPM. But there are parts you can buy to make it easily do that. Get you a cast or a billet flywheel. They're not cheap. They started about, I think the cheapest one I saw was close to $60, and it's still a heavier flywheel than what you want. If you want performance, you want a lighter flywheel. So if you want a lighter flywheel, you're going to go up around $100 to $200 depending on who you buy it from and what brand it is. And also on the internals, you can buy heads from like Go Power Sports with bigger valves and everything. Billet rod, connecting rod to your piston. You'll if you want to run higher RPMs, get you a billet connecting rod. And to be able to turn higher RPMs, you'll want to cam it up a little bit. Once you do the cam and the bigger valves and stuff like that, you can pump these up to about 22, 25 horsepower. And believe me, on a mini bike, that's more than enough. I'm pushing probably 8 to 10 maybe with this. I'm thinking 8, maybe 10 pounds of torque. But it's fun enough the way it is, but I do plan on bumping it up little by little. Budget pending. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's real easy to do. The biggest thing on this governor arm, that bolt, and 2 bolts over here. These are easy. And taking it off, this one's easy. Putting it back on is kind of hard to line that one up into the tank, because it's actually threaded into the bottom of the tank. And yeah, it'll give you a little headache there for a little while, and then again you may have less trouble than I did. I was doing it on my front porch step there on the sidewalk of my old house, and yeah, that's the only thing that really gave me a headache, was lining that back up and getting it going back in there. And slapping the pipe on there. She's loud. That's the only thing. I'd like to get a quieter muffler, so like when I go driving around and junk, it's not attracting unwanted attention. A lot of them old folks don't like the noise. But yeah, she's fun. If you can afford one, which they're not really that expensive, but to some people, like myself, sparing $500 is not the easiest task. I just did that on my car. I had to have the fuel lines replaced. And it wasn't because of rusting, which is what I assumed. In West Virginia, they put a lot of salt on the roads. But it was actually the plastic lines that degraded and started leaking. And it was $550, but they actually replaced it from the tank to the front. I got to thinking, I don't like spending that much, but at least I know my fuel lines are new from front to back. She's an older car. I want to keep her dependable. I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep it, but while I keep it, I want it to be dependable. You probably hear it now. It's raining a little bit harder now. And like I say, tomorrow is a 100% chance of rain. But unfortunately, this split into 2. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway. And if you go to bypass your governor, just like I say, just don't keep it at the top end that far. That's why when you see me riding, it looks like I'm averaging 30, 32 miles an hour. I'm doing that myself. I'm, controlling the throttle to keep it at that, because you don't want to keep it up on that high-end rev, on what this motor can do, because that's where your wear and tear comes from. Like I say, you get your billet rod, your billet flywheel, stuff like that, then you can rev it on up. It can. But yeah, once you put the right parts on it, she can do up to 9,000 RPMs with all the right parts. And I may not go that, intense, but yeah, I'm gonna have her revved up a little bit. Let's see, I'm gonna get my torque converter. I do plan on getting a connecting rod, built connecting rod, and cam it up a little bit, and a lighter flywheel. But you got different variations on what kind of cams you get for it and everything. I do want a little more bumping power, but I don't want it like nasty. I'm not drag racing it or anything. But I would like to get it up around 15 to 17 or so horsepower. That'd be plenty for this thing, plenty. And I would like to find more of a motorcycle style muffler that doesn't restrict it and still lets it breathe. I will eventually. I'm a cheapskate, so that's why it's so hard for me to find these parts, because I'm always trying to get them on the cheap. But anyways, yeah. Hope you liked the video, and if you did, please hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell. Because if you don't hit the bell, I don't know why. You think if you subscribe, you just get the alerts, but no, you got to hit the bell to make sure you get all the alerts when videos are uploaded. Or content is like, as they like to say. I got a little bit of a head cold. Anyway, yeah, and share the crap out of it. Hope you enjoyed.